Now we're going to focus on the second T, talk. The rules are you cannot have these tough discussions when you're tired, hungry. Those are big ones. I have a lot of couples tell me their arguments happen right before bed, right when I got home, right before dinner. Like, do not have these discussions when you're tired or hungry. The next ones are you shouldn't put time limits. The time rules are 15 minutes on a hot topic. Give yourself 30-minute breaks. Limit the number of topics. One of the problems we see in the couples when they come in is like what the Gottmans will call it is kitchen sinking, is like, well, when we're going to talk, I'm going to talk about this problem and I'm going to talk about that problem and this one and this one and this one. And pretty soon it just blows up because, hey, we never talk. So when we're going to talk, I'm just going to lay it all out. The next one is focus on the 5 to 1 and then try to use those F words, the feeling words. This book from Brene Brown, The Power of Vulnerability. She says, there's no courage without vulnerability. One story that Brene Brown shares is that a husband once showed up to one of her events and explained that he struggles with being vulnerable because he believed his family did not want to hear that he struggled with things. And in this, I would say, you can handle the truth, but it is important that you understand that some of your partners may not want to hear your fears. They may not want to hear your weaknesses. Children may not want to hear that you struggle or you have fears. And sometimes partners are feeling like they're just trying to protect their partners from their traumas. So many fear if they admit that they need help, that they might be weak. I want to challenge you to talk to your partner about how you can be vulnerable as much as you really want to be, in that you may need to get additional assistance to help you in your journey to make you a better person. And I'd recommend this book to every one of you to read the book, to understand how you become powerful when you're vulnerable and you ask for help. When we talk about communication in the research, we look at all these couples that have made it, and these are things that we identified as we call communication killers. If you tend to use things like excuses for your behavior, very critical, and you say, yes, but. So, yes, you did good with that, but I don't like that. The but kills everything. You need to change it to yes and. So, yes, but is no good. The closet arguments, I call our kitchen sinking argument, where you just keep bringing more and more and more to the party when you're finally communicating. If you want to blame, use insults, you put downs, sarcasm, whining or mocking or these type of things. When you hear that in a conversation, it's a killer. We don't want to hear people rewriting history to the negative. When I ask couples, tell me about your wedding, and all I hear is negative, they're rewriting history. So I don't want to rewrite the history of what's going on. Communication killers of being defensive. When someone challenges you on something that you've probably done wrong, when you mistrust them, and then you use the negative self-talk, right? The big thing is we tell ourselves negative things that are happening and we start projecting negative. Another thing we see is a lot in the men is we call that silence or stonewalling, like I'm just not going to engage. I've got people that come in couples therapy and the guy just sits there and is like, I'm just listening. I'm not going to be even bringing up problems here. Like that's stonewalling. A big one is the body language, right? You all know it. We watch body language from people with our partners, right? They're not engaging. They're not looking at you. They're rolling their eyes. You know, when you see your kids doing it, right? They're not listening. One of the final ones that we talk about is absolutes. If you're using the terms you always, you never, you should, those are communication killers. Those shut people down. And is it abusive? Is it yelling? Is it threatening? Is it verbally abusive? When I hear people in my couples with domestic violence, they'll tell me often it's not that they hit me as much, because that recovered. It's what they're verbally telling me that's hanging on longer. You know, if your talk can be controlling or monitored, or, I'm going to monitor your phone calls, monitor your texts. Like if you're being controlled in these ways, you may be in an abusive relationship, or if you're doing these things. Call to action here. I want you to speak up. I want you to demand healthy talk with others. Here's your hidden benefit would be that you get self-respect. Communication is vital in your relationship. Almost every couple that comes to see me explains they struggle in this area. Now, go and teach your partner some of these tips.